super, super nice to see you here this evening. At least I think it's this evening for all of you. Why don't you do a little chat in the chat bar? What time is it where you are right now? What time is it? And I hope it's okay with you. We're going to dig right in. Oh, I got like hands up. What's it? 4 a.m. Is that 6 o'clock? All right, type it in the chat bar. Oh, Florida, tell me what the weather is like in Florida. Maybe I should be asking, what is the temperature like where you're at? Is anybody from Jersey? Hey, I see a whole bunch of friends here. Mark Lund, what's going on? Mary, nice to see you. Cody and Melanie. Hey, Judy, nice to have you tonight. Cindy, I've been looking at all your social media. You guys are on fire. Art, hey, my friend, thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, everyone else, if you could turn on your camera, since you could see me, I'd love to see you. Hey, Keisha, I got you. I see you there. Michelle Wade, what's going on? All right. If you're ready to do it, I'm ready to do it. Type in boom in the chat bar. And you know why you're here, right? Because we're going to cover this tonight. Come on. Oh, there we go. Boom. We're going to cover how incredibly successful people think. And I will tell you, if you showed up here, you're already successful. You're already doing something that most people are not doing tonight. They're maybe had a bunch of excuses, and I'm sure, like all of you, there was a lot of stuff that was probably thrown in your way to keep you from this, right? And how many of you, tell me in the chat bar, just have some people that don't get that you're on some type of training to improve your life? Just type something in the chat bar so I know. Do you have people that are just like, I don't get it. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you there? Like, shouldn't you be eating now? And it, like, the fact that you're breaking the paradigm of what they think. But I'm going to share with you as we go through tonight that a lot of just little things, changing the little things, can make such a big difference. It really can. And answer this for me in the chat bar. People tell me this. They've been telling me it for a long time. Carson, they say, little hinges swing big what? Let's use first in the chat bar. Little hinges swing. Yeah, big doors. You know, Art, what I never heard anybody tell me that I've been saying, Mary? You know what big hinges swing? Really big doors. Really big doors. So why put a little hinge to swing a big door when you could use a big hinge to swing a giant door? And that's what I want to do with you tonight. I want to create this big hinge that can start to swing some bigger doors. Now, not only is this about how incredibly successful people think, and I put myself in that bracket of little bit of success there. I also want to make sure I tie it into what we call in that, well, let me show you right here, what we tie into this, which is, you know, part of it, the recession first aid toolkit for 2024. Now, do I know, Tracy, if we're going to have a recession or what is? No, I don't. But what I do know is that if we apply strategies to our life, to our business, to our health, to our career, to everything, then we do not have to have a recession because the world says it. So if it's okay with you, we could just become our own economy. How would that make you feel if you became your own economy today? Would that be kind of cool? And everything that we do, and maybe I should take a little poll so I make sure I serve you at the very, very best level possible, is like, who's brand new here? If you're brand new, you came across this, you're like, I came across an ad, just type in new in the chat bar. Give me a big new. you're like, something, it looked cool. I figured, what the hell? My family's out. I'll I'll give it a shot. I'll show up for this guy and see what's going on. All right. So everybody, it's new. Welcome. I'm honored you're here. Give it 10, 15 minutes. If you think it's just horrible, then just like flip me the middle finger and leave. But I promise you're not going to say that. And by the end, you'll hopefully have a new connection to a resource that can help you change the game. And then for some of you that are here, how long have you been? I'm polite. Well, I'm glad you're polite. Thank you for that. How long have you been in my world? So if you've been in my world before, and maybe Food Dog has been able to help you, or maybe some of you have scaled businesses or relationships, or you've become younger by being in our world, type in the chat bar. How long? Let's see what we got. We got 16 months. Hey, Carrie, nice to see you. 6 years, a year, 10 months. And those of you that have been in my world for a while, what would you maybe, hey, Mike, oh, wow, I see. So Gary Peterson, hey, brother, I'm excited to have you here tonight. Michelle, nice to see you. Those of you that have been in my world for a while, if you would give one word in the chat bar to let all the new people know, like, hey, this is what you should expect being in this Food Dog world, what would you tell them? Tell them in the chat bar. What would you say to them? We got wisdom. We got fast. That's kind of like buckle down, buckle in, right? Expansion, full on, life changing, certainty, relentless. Okay. Wow. I'm honored, everybody. I'm honored. Let's dig in. Tonight's sponsor, I hope it's okay. I thought we'll just be the sponsor tonight. I don't know if you've had a chance. It's relatively new, so a lot of people have not had a chance to experience it. But why don't you click the button tonight and dig around a little bit? And I don't know, maybe I should just show you real quick, because I'm super proud of it. If you want me to just show you real quick, can you just say show me in the chat bar? Just say show it to me real quick. I won't take a long time, but I'm proud of it. And since I'm proud of it, I probably should show you guys. So let me just stop this real quick and let me navigate a little around here. Boom. So the link was put in the chat bar. So the sponsor tonight is the Food Dog Store. And some of you may not have a chance to see this, but in the Food Dog Store, there is, let's blow it up a little bigger. There's all kinds of resources in here. All kinds. There's books, there's products on mindset. You could go in here and click, and there's everything from a book that's $16 to major training intensive programs that are a couple thousand. So there's something to fit every single one of you, what you might need in your future. Confidence and clarity. This might be something you bring to your company or to your family. So if that's cool, that now you know the Food Dog Store, can you just give me a little bit of that's pretty cool in the chat bar? Yeah, we got some, bling stuff and towels, and I didn't even see this sticker one. Hey, great job, team. Why don't I have one of those on my truck? Team, can you put that down? Like, I need one of those to put on my own vehicle here. So you guys can check that out. And when I was thinking about this before, I went last minute and I was like, I went to, just so you guys know, we have a whole bunch of team on here. So I want to point some of them out here. We got my beautiful wife should be on here somewhere. She could wave to you. And also Aaron, one of our business partners, my wife and I. And then we have our team. So team, type in the chat bar and say, hey, this is who I am. And I'm honored to hang out with you guys tonight. And so like last minute, like less than an hour ago or so, I said, Aaron, like, let's just put a coupon here. Like if we're going to show the store, let's save people some money. So there you got it, everyone. Got a QR code there. You'll save 25%. Feel free to use it just as a gift for you showing up. To a big boom in the chat bar. Just so you know, tonight, it's not a business training. It's how to scale anything by scaling yourself training. So business training is okay, just so you know. And if you want to know the ratio, and I proved it, it's 80-20. And you guys tell me if you think it's true. 80% of success in life and everything you do is psychology. It's the thinking. 20% is the skills. If that's a boom for anybody, type in boom, because what happens is people focus on the 20 and they never get, they're like, oh, no, if I learn marketing, sales, and operations, if I just know how to do that, I'll grow and expand, be wealthy, and financially free. And I'm like, yeah, but you've been trying to get skill sets for 20 years. You're still broke and suffering. But if we flip it and fix the psychology of things, you'll become a lot better off, I promise you. All right. Here's some things. Thoughts, okay, thought habits that keep a lot of people stuck. And if I hit any of these that like resonate with you, or you're like, oh man, that's me. Look, there's no judgments here. All right. Just so you know, I have a lot of people follow me. I don't care if you're a billionaire or you don't have a dollar to your name. I'm not impressed either way. I'm just here to serve you. So whatever you want to improve, we improve it together. If that's fair, can you type in fair in the chat bar? But I do know that habits that keep people stuck. One, feeling confused. If you agree, type in agree. Slave to the economy. Man, 2008, I mentioned that. People start like getting tremors, right? Fear of being controlled. Well, they're the reason I'm not successful. This is what's holding me back. How about this one? You guys probably can't relate to this. Complaining rather than problem solving. Anybody? Give me an anybody. Okay. How about lack of clarity? Like, I want to make more money. Okay, here's $1. You're done. No. I want more than $1. Well, make more money is not clarity. Have a better relationships, not clarity. Or what about this? Wanting more, but believing it's not possible. Man, I have that all over. Just go on social media, right? Go on Facebook. I love Facebook and social media. You go out there and someone's like, oh, really? You think it's that easy? And I have this problem and that problem. And it all translates into, I don't think it's possible. And do you like find yourself, thinking others are successful because they're lucky? Someone once told me that probably a while ago now, maybe a decade. They're like, you know what, Mike, you've been pretty lucky. I'm like, really? That's what you think? You think that I did this because I was lucky? Like, not that I was investing like over 3.3 million in my own education, putting trainings on credit cards that I didn't know how I was going to pay. You mean when I was working 7 days a week, 18 hours a day? You mean when I was crawling in crawl spaces and attics and sniffing cat pee? You think I was lucky to do that? I said, thank you. I hope you have that luck. It had nothing to do with luck. It had with focus, right? Focus. And do you feel like no matter how hard you try, nothing works, right? Nothing works. If you could relate, type in relate if you could relate to one or some of these things right here. Because I definitely, when I looked at this, I was like, that's who, this was me, right? This is what me, long time ago, especially being on my own since I'm 15. Like, I carried a lot of baggage. But here's the real thing I want to think about, the real thing. And by the way, team, if you could throw the link for this training tonight in the chat bar, if any of you are hearing something really good and I'm not even warmed up yet, maybe take the link, throw it to a friend real quick or someone that's whining every day and tell them, listen, whiner, get on this right now because Mike's about to get in strategies and I'm tired of listening to you, complain every day. All right. So there you go. Toolkit.foodog.group. Grab that real quick, throw it on social, tag a friend, text it to someone, tell them jump on. But here's what I always want to know. Like, how would you feel if you had unlimited confidence? Tell me in the chat bar. Unlimited confidence. Not this fake stuff you tell your friends. Like, I'm going to build a big thing and and then you at night you cry, not that type of stuff. What about clarity? I mean, such a sense of clarity that you know exactly where you're going, when you're going, how you're going, all of that. And what about awareness? You can look around and see what's happening and navigate those things that are happening, so you don't go into a state of paralysis. And this is one of my favorite words, Mark, one of my favorite words: certainty. Certainty. The ability to know I'm moving forward and I am going to get there. And when something gets in the way, you don't look at that as a failure. You just say, it's not difficult, it's just different. Can you write that down, everybody? Things are not difficult, they're just different. They're not difficult, they're just different. You're just not used to it. I was on with another person earlier today, and I said to them, you know, there is no learning curves. There's only lack of education. Okay? If you're having learning curves, it's not a learning curve. It's lack of education. Who's ever heard this? And I've been sharing it. Who's ever heard this thing? People said success leaves clues. Type in clues in the chat bar. Did you ever hear this thing? Everybody wants to say it. They're so proud of the phrase, right, Matt? They're like, success leaves clues. And I'm like, okay. Now, I've been sharing this the last probably 6-8 months. Do any of you in life, hey, Anthony, nice to see you. Do any of you have the time to play Dora the Explorer? Do any of you have kids that watch that? You know, I remember my daughter when she was young, she watched Dora the Explorer. Like, do you guys have time to play Dora the Explorer today? Like, go sniff around for a clue? I say forget about the clue. Just give me the darn blueprint. Give me the blueprint. Now, I proved this out because I'll tell you a little story. It's probably going to come up with a slide soon. But, you know, after I grew a $32 million service company, which was fun. It took 10 years to go from $1 million to 32 million. If I was living in today's world, I could easily take a company from 0 to, you know, 20, 30 million in easily half that time, because just the resources, the tools, the information, the knowledge, and what to do. But, you know, when I go back then and I'm thinking about that, I'm like, okay, I built that, I learned. And I was like, okay, I figured out a lot of things, but the things I figured out, somebody else already knew it. They already knew it. The reason why it took longer is because it took a decade, a little less than a decade, for someone to say, if you want to win, you got to win you. Can you write that down? If you want to win, you got to win you. And that's the part that was tough for me to figure out, because I had so much baggage. Any of you got any baggage left? Type in baggage. Like, do you have any guilt, shames, or traumas at all? Like, I just had a lot of it, everybody, right? Being on my own at 15, survivor of like this vicious divorce family. And I think when you have baggage, like, baggage gets added, right? You get baggage added. And if you don't know how to process the baggage, then you carry shames and guilts. Like, I lost my dad the end of 2023 in November. He moved on. And so I had that whole reality of being able to face, like, how does loss feel like, and how does death feel, and the whole transition of it. And I was like, hang on a minute. Make sure as this goes down, you have no shames, no guilts, no traumas. So I became more free. My dad gave me the final gift of another level of freedom inside my mind and my body and my power. And I want to gift that to you guys too. But the point is, then I went on to build this company called CEO Warrior. Does anybody know? Just type in Warrior. And what I wanted to do was not teach people. I wanted to single-handedly change an industry. And if any of you know it, type in industry if you feel I changed an industry. I mean, I did create, in over the last less than 36 months, over, I think it's 55 millionaires, and 90% of them became decamillionaires. So I've changed single-handedly legacy in the industry more than any human I know. But it's not about me. It's about what I learned through that process. By coaching over 1,000 service companies, I learned that I could speed the process of change for people if I can just help them shift their identity, shift it, change it, take away the guilt, the shames, and traumas, and put massive power inside of them. So that's just a little bit about what I learned. But here's what happened when I stepped into these habits that we're going to talk about tonight, okay? And type in something you already picked up, everybody. What's something you picked up? Type it in so I keep getting feedback from you guys. The one thing was, I was confused and trying to figure it out. But when I figured it out, I sold 2 companies that were both over high 8 figures. And then at one time, I had no mentors and I was trying to figure it out. And I also at one time had really crappy mentors. And then I learned how to leverage expert advice, how to step in, and the power of getting an answer from someone who has been on the journey. And then everyone around me, it felt like they were just giving up, especially through COVID. It felt like a lot of people were giving up. And then we built Food Dog Group and Business Forge. Food Dog Group, look at this. Food Dog Group is after you attempted, you might want, how many of you want financial freedom? Type in freedom in the chat bar. Type in freedom. How many of you want to have a level of mastery? Like you just want to be able to master your mind, your body, financial mastery, relationship mastery. Type in mastery. And how many of you are just craving legacy? You just want to know that like you've done it and did it at another level, right? And that's also what I want to. So look at Food Dog Group as an organization that helps people get freedom, mastery, and legacy. And we pick up where all of a sudden people have attempted stuff. They went to the Bob Proctor, they tried the Jack Canfield, they did a little Tony Robbins stuff. They still know they're not at the highest level caliber of their human sense. That's when people come to us. That's when the top people, right? The CEOs, the business owners, and people that want to change the game. Business Forge, just in case some of you don't know what it is, that's where we work and partner with companies to help them scale and exit in 3 to 5 years. But what about this? The recession of 2008. Did anybody get their butt kicked in 2008? Type in butt kick. Some of you are probably too young for it. But my wife and I, and I'm not bragging, guys, I'm just sharing, because why the hell are you going to listen to the successful habits if you don't even think I did it? There's so many coaches out there today coaching things they never even figured it out themselves, right? My wife and I have been debt-free since we're 28. I'm level 53. If you would like to say what level you are, type it in the chat bar, but I'm level 53. So we've been debt-free since 28, so do the math, right? And we're working, right? What about this? Working hard, but not sure if I'm working on the right things. How many of you are just wondering? Type in the word wondering. If you're wondering if you're actually working on the right stuff to get to the outcome you desire, right? You're just wondering. But with your freedom and my freedom, I created what I call life, business, and wealth by design. Someone on the team type that in. Life, business, and wealth by design. And everyone else, tell me how that feels to you when you think of that. When you think about by design versus, what's the opposite of by design, everyone? By default. By default. You're doing the best you can, but you don't know how all the pieces go together. And if you don't know the pieces, it's trying to put a puzzle together upside down and blindfolded. So you can't see no colors, only shapes, and you're blindfolded. Well, this is a tough puzzle to put together, okay? And here's a little bit in case you're new in my world. And this was my service company that I grew. I had 200 employees, 165 trucks on the road, 32 million a year, double-digit profit. A lot of people I know have built some bigger things, and it was easy to build it bigger. We were tracking 40 million anyway the year I sold. and easily we would have been to 100+ million in a couple years after that. But it wasn't about that for me because I had all these people that's life were suffering. And I always say, congratulations, you keep winning for yourself. I became a real champion when I started to live for all these people too, right? And change the game. But I will share another thing. This was something I didn't know. And if you're getting value, type in value, because I'm going to go to the 10. I'm going to give you the secret, the habits, but you got to know what the habits did, and you got to know what it triggers for you. Because along the way, these habits I'm showing you, I also, I purchased this building and this building. I sold this one. This was sold in this was sold in 2023. So we'll change that. So, this one will be sold in 2024. We got some bids on the table. This is close to 5 million here, and this was almost 5 million here, right? So these habits apply to everything. Relationships, scaling real estate portfolios, managing wealth, right? Communicating with yourself on all different levels. So I want to let you know. And here's a cool thing. And type in where you're from anyway. What state are you from? Because I always like to gut check. We have a global impact right now. Ohio. Hey, Ohio. Georgia, Pennsylvania, Bermuda, England. Okay, so I love it. Hey, New York, what's up? It's close enough to Jersey. All right, Maryland, New Zealand. So you guys could see that I'm saying we have a global impact. I'm not blowing smoke. We have a global impact. And here's just a little bit of our community that we work with on a regular basis every week to change their life. And I already mentioned these, but I do want to reinforce it because I don't want you to miss it. Even if you can't attend the full 3-day virtual training, like consider investing just not to miss these 3 and a couple of the other talks we do, right? Because these guys are raving fans of what we're doing because they know we're changing the game. Dave Dolick, how you doing, brother? All right, if you're ready, let's do strategy number 1. Are you ready? Type in I'm ready. Type in I'm ready in the chat bar. All right. The power of mindset. Now, I am curious, how many of you have read the book Mind Power? Type in Mind Power in the chat bar. Type in Mind Power. How many of you read the book Mind Power? Oh, yeah. Still reading it? Mary, let's do it. Okay. How many of you put a question mark? You're like, I didn't even know you had a book, Mind Power. Had no effing idea. Like, put a question mark. Like, what? Mike didn't even know? I'm new. All right. Hey, y'all. Nice to see you. All right, team, can you give them the link so they could get the book for free, please? Team, give them the link so they could get the book for free. If that's cool, is it cool if we give you the book for free, everyone? If you want the physical copy mailed to your house, you probably got to pay shipping. But if you're good digital, boom, we got you covered tonight. Strategy number 1 is mindset. Now, incredible, successful people think different than everyone else. Give me a true in the chat bar. Is that true? Right? And the thing that makes them think different is this: certainty, focus, and they create solutions, not drama. When I say the word drama, type something in the chat bar. Like, how does that even make you feel? Like, because a lot of people, they're not creating solutions. They're creating drama because they're complaining about the problem more than the opportunity they have. Hey, Chuck, nice to see you. Now, the recession-proof tip here to this is this right here. Now, people with a certainty mindset, they create their own economy and they always find a way. They always find a way. Now, there's a little thing to that. How many of you know the quote and answer it for me in the chat bar? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first what? The first what? Step. Okay. But Art, that's dangerous. I think, who wrote that? Sun Tzu? Did Sun Tzu write that? And I think he was completely wrong. I believe The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first right step, not a blind step. Because what if the first step's off a cliff? What happens? You fall. How many of you, be upfront, because I've done it too. How many of you have just moved forward, and maybe you moved forward so fast, you crashed into a wall? Tell me in the chat bar, how many of you crashed into a wall? Right? You made mistakes, you didn't see things, you didn't know things, you're just like, I'm just going to keep doing it. And all of a sudden you wake up one day, you got to have that conversation with your husband or wife. I made a whole bunch of boo-boos. I'm like, man, that ain't a boo-boo. That's like an amputation there. Right? That ain't a boo-boo. That's like a bloodbath there, right? And team, if team, you could keep putting the link in if they want to invite people, because we're only on strategy 1. If you guys want to call in any other friends to jump in before we get to the next strategy, call them in and throw it on social media for yourself, or tell a friend, get the heck on, because they might need to hear about certainty or focus. Now, tell me if this makes sense. If everyone in your world, your family, your employees, your community, your vendor partners, if they all had certainty, focus, and created solutions, would you and them have an economic problem? Type in the chat bar. What's the answer? No. No, you wouldn't. That's why it's strategy number 1. Strategy number 1. Feel free to take some snapshots of this while we're going through it. Let's do strategy number 2 here of successful habits. Number 2, energy. Energy. I just see that people today, they have a sense of like fatigue. They're worn out. Their knees are slow. They can't get up. They can't breathe. They wake up in the morning, they're dragging. They go to bed, they're dragging. But the main thing about a successful people and habits is energy is the driving force of them. Now, before I get into energy, I will tell you, despite what you think, I am not a miracle morning person. I don't get up at 5 a.m. and sniff butterfly butts, and I don't do that stuff. I'm okay. Others do it. It's fine. Whatever works for you. But if I get up at 5 a.m., it's because I'm vomiting, because I just don't do it. I get up with my body. That was one of my goals that I wanted in life, is I wanted to get to the point I never have to set an alarm clock ever. I just wake up and then my day starts, and that's how I plan my day every day. Unless I gotta, go to a doctor's visit, then I make sure I don't miss it. But otherwise, I never set an alarm clock, right? And when you have this driving force of energy, you don't need to induce your body with things to get the energy. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm sharing it because I want you maybe someday to go this route too. I don't do no caffeine. So I don't do Red Bulls. I don't do coffee. I don't do caffeinated tea. I don't do any of that. Why? Because a long time ago, somebody told me that if you got rid of, now I never drank coffee, but I did drink caffeine teas. And they said, if you get rid of caffeine out of your body, the amount of energy that will unlock inside of you is unlike anything you could imagine. And guess what? It was true, everybody. It was true. Now, was it easy? No, it was miserable. When I kicked caffeine, I had thoughts. Did anybody ever kick caffeine? I had thoughts of stabbing my own brain. It was downright vicious. But once I got through that, I did get that superhuman energy, right? Now, when you live with intensity, a couple things happen. One, everybody around you will choose to go with the intensity or get away. Let's see if this might be true for you. Be honest with me and everyone here. How many of you, if this was a candle and there was a flame, how many of you have dimmed your flame because of people around you? Tell me in the chat bar. They told you, calm down, slow down. Why are you working so hard? Why do you want more? Don't you have enough? And you're like, let me just shrink a little, right? I understand it. But let me share something else. When you build this flame really big, they'll either join the flame or they're going to get burnt away. But it's all up to you. What do you want to do? You have one life. Now, I did find out something. When this flame grows, some will move away. You tell them, I love you, but I'm going to keep growing. Those of you that are successful, you know what it's like. It's you go to a party with the families. Tell me if you can relate. And they go, oh, here's Mr. Successful guy or girl. Did any of you ever get that? Like, oh, look at you, Mr. Success, right? That's trying to dim your flame. They're trying to shoot it with a fire extinguisher. But the cool thing is when you don't let that happen, this attracts a whole lot of people that want to join. People in the world, they try to tell me it's hard to find good employees. It's hard to recruit. I'm like, no, you're a very small flame. I don't mean to insult anybody, but if that's possibly true after what I just taught, can you type in true? Because if you're a big flame, people are going to come work for you because they're attracted to the power of that. People, the number one recruiting strategy today in the world is to be somebody that others want to follow. And then recruiting's not a problem. You do realize there's like, how many people on planet Earth? Like billions, right? There's a lot. There's like what, $360 trillion of money. So if you guys can get a grip, maybe consider two things. No lack of money on planet Earth, no lack of people. Only lack of, and write it down, only lack of personal power. Only lack of personal power. And then you won't have fatigue and you'll take massive action because when you got more energy, you make decisions quicker. Now, the recession-proof tip is this. Focus energy on big picture, big results, right? It's doing the right thing at the right time. How many of you are pretty sure you might be doing the right thing at the wrong time? Just type in wrong time, right? And it's not your fault. You just don't know. You don't have a board of life advisors. See, at one time in my life, I had 7 coaches I was paying. I always paid coaches because I believe free coaches give you insight, but never give you exactly what you need. If that makes sense, type in boom in the chat bar. It's like, oh, my friend coaches me. I'm like, yeah, but look at you. He's giving you dog scraps because you're not willing to invest in him. And a byproduct, a vibration of investing in something raises your vibration of attracting to you, right? So, you want to work on the right things at the right time. And normally without a board of like personal life advisors, people normally make mistakes, right? They make mistakes. All right, let's go for number 3. Overcoming limiting beliefs. All right. Now, personal awareness is the first step to really overcoming limiting beliefs because you have to know, and I see a whole bunch of people joining. Hey, those of you that just logged in, I'm super glad you're here. You might have missed a couple strategies. We'll get you the beginning end so you don't worry about it. Okay, we'll get you the beginning end. And anybody else that's we still got a bunch more strategies. If you want to invite someone else real quick, someone on your team, a manager, anybody, because you just need them to grow faster, the team will keep throwing the link in for you guys. Just keep bringing them along, okay? Now, personal awareness is the first step to overcoming limiting beliefs. You have to identify the limiting belief. And there's a difference between saying, I don't believe it, and it's not real in my mind. Okay? Let me share something. I was taught as a kid, and I'm wondering if any of you, that money doesn't grow on trees. If you were taught that, type in trees in the chat bar. I always think of the little guy, Bob Ross. Let's put a little tree here. My wife and I just saw a video. Let's put a little mountain. He like just pulls the brush across and all of a sudden there's a whole scene, right? It's like incredible. And so you go, well, no, I believe money grows on trees Because like I told my dad, if I had apple trees, orange trees, pear trees, I could pick those and sell it for money. But that doesn't mean it's not real inside the programming of your mind. Just remember, if this is your mind, every limiting belief sits inside your mind here, okay? It sits inside here until it's modified. It never gets removed, it just gets modified. So that's why some of you probably know what to do, but the software system. Who's old enough to know Commodore 64? Put 64 in the chat bar. You're old enough to know what that is. Who has no idea what it is? Put a question mark. You're like, I have no idea. Clearly, I'm too young. Commodore 64, and my wife and I and my daughter were watching this series, Sheldon. I don't know the full name of the show, Sheldon. And like, he's a computer. So it's really good if you're from that generation, because I'm always laughing because they have, you know, it's like the lime green refrigerator and the phone with the cord and stuff. But some of you are trying to scale your life with a Commodore 64 program software system. And until you upgrade that and you remove and replace and reprogram and redefine, you could do everything you want. That's why, how many of you have had amazing things happen and then end up right back on the bottom again and you just can't figure it out? Type it in the chat bar. You're like, I win, I'm like top of the world, and then I lose. I'm in an amazing relationship, then I'm divorced. I'm like really healthy, then I'm unhealthy. Why? Every expert, the doctors want to tell you, well, it's because you're eating this, the nutrition, that. Like, no, it's the software system, everybody. It's the software. Why do I know? Because I had to change my own software system. Now, when you challenge the limiting beliefs, you'll get new perspectives, right? Like, look at the perspectives that some of you were probably wired with, Mike. Like, money is, what did your parents tell you? Money is what? Evil. Money is dirty. What about filthy, rich, filthy, right? Dirty. I'm not the ATM. I don't own the utility company. Do you guys stinking rich? Do you think that ever went away from your mind? You may not believe it. Doesn't mean it's not running your life. That's what we do. That's why I focus on, before you can create the success, the level of life you want, you got to change your identity. Your identity means you got to flip the channel. You got to shift the channel. You got to change it. And then you got to step into and live your new belief, which is easy, because if I take out a Commodore 64 and I take a MacBook Pro, who's a Mac user? Type in Apple. I'm an Apple user. You take the MacBook Pro and you shove it in there, guess what? Things move faster. There's more storage. There's no viruses. You win. You move faster in life, right? So the recession-proof tip here is always challenge new beliefs about the future to avoid being controlled by fear. Do you think the world's throwing less fear at you or more? What do you think? Answer that for me. Less fear or more? Man, like, they're drowning you in fear. Every TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, news station. Now, someone told me this, Ross. They said, I don't watch the news. Okay. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, it's all bad. And I said, okay, well, when do you want to become strong enough that nothing overpowers your mind? Because the fact that you can't watch it because it controls you means you're at risk of other things controlling you. See, I can watch the news. It doesn't control me. Why? I own my mind. See, it's only when you don't own your mind that outside forces attack it. If that makes sense, can you give me a little make sense in the chat bar, please? Let's go for strategy number 4. Here's strategy number 4. And if you're getting value, if you're getting massive value, type it in all caps. If you're getting a little value, type it in, I guess, baby little letters. If you're getting like excited, type in excited, everybody. I'm excited you're here. Thank you. Tell some of your friends we're on number 4. Like, get the hell over here. What are you waiting for? All right. Shift your identity for growth. All right. I love this picture, right? There's this little cat. Let's do a survey. Who's cat people? Who's dog people? Who's both people? I'm a dog person. I'm not a cat lover. I think I have problems because we had a cat one time. It was a one-eyed cat that fought with a raccoon that we kind of ended up with, and it scratched the back of a brand new couch, right? And that, like, I have a real problem, like scooping a kitty litter back then. And did any of you, who's a cat lover? Let me see. Do I have some cat? No pet allergies. All right. Stay away from pets, both. All right. Did anybody ever get that stupid cat thing? That's like an automatic litter thing. It goes like this, and it like scrapes it. But then, like, if the cat's got like really messy crap, it sticks and it goes off on it. It don't work. I returned it right to Pet Depot with the crap on it and all. I was like, this thing kept me up all night long. All right, here we go. Understand the power of identity. Now, I'm not talking about this alter ego stuff. You know, when you talk about alter ego, it's like, let me put on a Halloween mask. Look at me, Dad. I'm Superman. Look at me, Mom. I'm Mulan, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the power of your identity where you see yourself different. Somebody summarized it for me years ago when I was scaling my business, or at least trying to. A guy said to me, he said, you know, Mike, you can't grow $1 million company with $100,000 mindset. And I was like, huh. He's like, you definitely can't grow a $5 million company with $1 million mindset. He said, the way to get to 10 million is create a $20 million mindset. Write this down, everybody. Ready? Your greatest future. So write, my greatest future is already built. It's waiting for you to catch up. Your greatest future is already built. It's waiting for you to catch up. Now, your identity is not fixed, but constantly evolving with every experience. How do you know? Look at this COVID thing. Do you think that improved people's identities of power, strength, focus, discipline? Or do you think it did the opposite? Tell me in the chat bar. What do you think happened for people? Did they become stronger in their mind or weaker? Now, I watched the global masses because I'm a human behavior guy, right? So I watch how is it shifting people's consciousness, their thinking, their decision making. I'm like, this is horrible. So just remember, things are either evolving your identity to where you want to go or pulling back your identity to where you're trying to avoid. And your identity informs your actions in every area of your life. And create a clear vision of your identity with actionable steps, and then you have to enforce it. How do you know? Do you ever see a really famous actor and then their identity shifts and they go away? What about Vanilla Ice, right? Ice Ice Baby, right? Top of the world. And then what? He's on a TV show like swinging a hammer. Like, who even knew he was a carpenter or something? Like, that was just weird, right? Now, the recession-proof tip here is if you had the identity you needed, you'd already have the result you desire. So what should you do? Well, we should work on shifting our identity. It's one of the #1 things that you should reinforce. All right, so let's pause a minute. Type in something, an action, something you heard before we go to the next one, something you're going to do tonight. I need to make sure. If you just listen to me and go, that was fun, this was entertainment, you could have watched that stuff on YouTube somewhere. Those of you that are new in my world, I'm about hear, learn, execute, take action, okay? Because if we don't take action, nothing will change, and all you did was have fun watching this tattoo guy talk for an hour plus, right? Okay, recommit to mindset. Yes. Mark, I love it. Keep typing out, everybody. Be a big flame. Don't shrink your flame for other people. Oh, you guys are doing amazing. I'm so excited with you guys tonight. And the night with gratitude. Yeah, like there's how do you know you have a gratitude? Real gratitude, just so you guys know, first off, it would bring you a tear in your eye. If it doesn't bring a tear, you just have an exercise that makes you feel good. And also real empowering gratitude is you're grateful for everything that was amazing and everything you think was not amazing. So I watch people gratitude and they say, I practice gratitude every night. And then I go, oh, tell me about your relationship. And they go, oh yeah, I'm divorced. That woman destroyed my life. And I go, okay, are you grateful for her? No. I'm like, oh, so, but you practice gratitude. Like, no. See, when you're grateful for that and this, I'm so grateful for the lawsuit that was $4 million. It cost $1 million. I thought I was going to go out of business. I have extreme gratitude for that situation. Why? Well, the next year, I added $6.5 million to my company in 1 year. Why? Because that $1 million lawsuit put a flame in me like you can't imagine. Because you either have excuses, write this down, everybody. You either have excuses or execution. You probably don't have both. You have excuses or you have execution. And I'm not one that's going to play a violin. So anybody that's new in the world, know, if you're looking to tell me your bad story in life in this, if you're not ready to execute on something, well, then you got to find a different peer group that loves to hang around dim light, right? Because I can't be a dim light. All I could be is a powerful one for you. Now I have a little bit of empathy at first, but then we got to get a job done, don't we? We got to get the job done. All right. You guys are doing amazing. Let's go here. Here's my friend, Mike Michalowicz. All right. Be open and learn from experts, right? Now, let me go back here before you read it. Knowledge is what? Type it in the chat bar, everybody. Let's use knowledge is what? Come on. Who's fast? Knowledge is power. No. Thank you, though, Ross. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge alone is a waste of energy and time. Applied knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge alone does nothing for you. If I just like the most brilliant human on earth and just sat here in a state of Zen, nothing would change. I have to take the knowledge, put it into application. That's why I've been able to create so many decamillionaires on earth and change a whole industry, because I got people to shift their thinking, remove their programming, get rid of the shame, guilts, and traumas, and then show them how to really direct life, business, and wealth by design. And then you change an industry and you create legacy for people because we apply the knowledge. Now, you are your greatest success vehicle. But most people, you're investing time, and I'm so honored here you're here, but most people are investing in the wrong things. Because I've coached and trained so many people in my life, I'm like, they're like, oh, I have a coach. I've been with him 10 years. I'm like, you still haven't broken like $4 million. Yeah, he helps me. And help you what? You've been at 4 million for 4 years, for God's sakes. Like, you ain't being helped. I got news for you. It's not working no more, right? Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to keep getting what you're getting. You guys understand that, right? But you got to leverage others' knowledge to accelerate personal growth. Who has already found out tonight that there's a little difference between our perspectives here at Food Dog Group and the world? Type in world if it's just a little bit different. It's a little bit different, right? Because I look at what people say and they say, oh, Mike, I'm going to do the 4-hour work week. Did anybody ever read this book before, The 4-Hour Work Week, right? Oh, I'm going to do the 4-hour work week. And I come across people and they go, I only work 20 minutes a week. And I said, well, that's a shame. That's a shame. They're like, look at me, because I'm not patting them on the back and holding them in the air and chanting for them. They're like, why is it a shame? I said, because you hate it so much, you don't even know how to get rid of the 20 minutes. If you hate it that much, let's get rid of the 20 minutes. So I don't fall into these belief systems that people try to put on you. I say, well, is that true? Is it really true? Right? And if you don't know what to ask, guess what? What should I be asking you? Right? What should I be asking? Try the 4,000-hour week. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't work anymore because, like, I'm so honored. It's 8 p.m. in Jersey time. My beautiful wife's on here. Team's on here. I think my son's probably on here. And this is not work to me. See, it's only work when you don't love it that you would do it 7 days a week. Oh, there's my son. He's on here. See, if you're willing to do it on Saturday and Sunday, it's not work. It's passion. It's passion, everybody. And recession proof, learning curves only occur from lack of education. We said that. All right, give me a boom in the chat bar. Let's keep going. We're getting close here. If you're going to stay strong with me, give me a word that tells me how strong you're going to be with me. I don't want to stop till I'm done if that's okay, because success doesn't have a restriction in time to it. Success is do what you need to do until you get what you want to get. So we're just going to keep going at that. All right. Now, certainty, we spoke about, it's crucial to success. And here's how it happens. You guys have thoughts. I wonder if I can. I wonder if I should. Maybe I will. And then the minute I turn it to certainty, I then create actions. That's why certainty is so important. I can tell anytime I do, because we do a lot of different stuff today, you know, every now and then somebody hires me and I do a one-on-one life consult. And then we have a lot of members in our world that at different calibers of who they are. And then sometimes I'm speaking to 3,000 people. And then sometimes I'm getting on with a company we might partner with. And I always listen for the thoughts that come out their mouth. And the thoughts are, I tried, I think I can do that. Maybe that will work. And I'm like, oh man, can't even move forward. No certainty in your language. So I already can tell the program, and that tells me what I'm up against just by their language patterns. The minute I hear people, I'm going to do that, I'm like, okay, we're moving forward. I'm going to put it together like this. I'm like, yep, we're moving forward. Now, does it mean they might not have to, yeah, they might have to modify it. But certainty is okay with course correction. Write that down. Certainty is okay with course correction. All right. When there's no certainty, it's hard to course correct. It's already failed from the beginning. It's already failed from the beginning. So certainty connects thoughts and actions to create confidence. And certainty is the foundation of success stories for high achievers. It is a habit of the ultra successful. And when you eliminate self-doubt with confidence to realize your own success story. And that's what I want from all of you. I want that year after year, day after day, decade after decade, people keep going. That masterclass I attended, that training I went to, that product that I leveraged, it kept shifting me and moving me exactly where I wanted to go in life. So all of you can have the legacy you desire. This is an interesting little story. And it shows not only limiting beliefs, Alex, it shows where some people are. Someone told me this. They said, you know, Mike, money's not everything. Did you ever have anybody say this to you? Tell me in the chat bar. I'm curious. And I said, very well said. Ross, I said this. Very well said from a broke ass individual. That's what I told them. So clearly you guys know I don't make a lot of friends when I go places. But I mean, you tell me in the chat bar, would you rather have a hurtful truth or a comforting lie? What do you want? You want a hurtful truth or I don't do hurtful truths to hurt people. I do it because you deserve someone to be honest with you. If you want people to sing kumbaya and tell you everything will be fine if you keep not changing, you know, go find that on the internet. But that's not me. That's not why I'm on the planet. So I turned around and I said, let me explain something. Money may not be everything. But when my mom needed her teeth fixed and she didn't have money and I bought her teeth to get fixed, money was everything. Money was everything, right? So I said, why don't you for just 1 minute consider about stop being so selfish to the world and go make some money, because if you don't need it, you can then give it away to help others. Anybody want to give me a boom there? Because if it ain't everything to you, then make it for someone who it's everything for. Because, you know, in Jersey, it's like 28 degrees tonight, and there's someone sleeping on the street right now. And maybe some it's choice, and some it's mental illness, and some it's bad things that happen to them. And And some people do get those situations. Well, you might be the person that steps up, makes money, and helps somebody, right? And helps somebody. Okay, recession proof tip here. Lack of certainty means you have to follow the trend rather than set the trend. Hey, Aaron, can you put a note? Got to make sure we send that donation, Make-A-Wish and the, can you remember that? Thank you, everybody. We did a training. We collected donations. I want to make sure we send it out. It was for Wounded Warriors and St. Jude and Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I want to make sure we get that out. All right. So lack of certainty means you have to follow the trend rather than set the trend. Man, how many people are following? They're just following the trend, following the trend. All right. We're getting close, guys. You still with me? Type in, let's do it. You staying with me? Like, are we going to do this? I mean, what else are you going to go do tonight? Flip through Netflix or something? All right. Play at a higher level. Are you, if you were, okay, the gym will, well, you could do the gym while you're watching this too. How about this? How many of you would really tell me, are you playing at the highest level for yourself, for your family, for generations? Are you playing at the highest level? Tell me in the chat bar. Or is there more? Is there more? I'm not talking, see, people get confused. They're like, oh, Mike, I can't work more. I did not say work more. I said play at the highest level. A matter of fact, when you're playing at the highest level, you're working less, but creating so much more because you're doing the right things at the right time. So don't get confused high level with effort and work. It's not that. High level is you're functioning at the level to get it done. Successful people play at the highest level. And they pursue their targets with relentlessness because they live, eat, and breathe it. And they don't listen to the naysayers. Any of you, probably none of you, but do any of you have naysayers? Like, I don't believe. I tell everybody, every time I'm going to build and change something, I find someone and I say, tell me it's a bad idea. So when I decided to scale my service company to 165 trucks and 32 million, when I was under $1 million, about 700,000, I told someone, I'm going to build one of the biggest service companies in New Jersey. And I was in an association back then. And I said, I'm going to outgrow all of the founding fathers of the organization, every one of them. And they were around for probably 20 years. I said, I'm going to outgrow every one of them. I'm going to outgrow every legend. And a whole bunch of people said, no, you can't. There's too many companies in New Jersey. They're all over the place. They're all bigger than you. Boom. I was a stealth bomber. I always said, by time they recognized me, it was way too late. And then I started CEO Warrior, and they said, well, that's stupid, and that name makes no sense, and no one's going to come. They want to go to a place and listen to a guy with a suit and tie talk about they've been doing it for 50 years and talk about shoulder season and blah, blah, blah. Actually, most of the gurus are still talking about stuff that's 50 years old today as it is. And I said, no, you don't understand. I'm going to change a whole industry. They said, you can't do it. There's too many organizations out there. They've been around too long. Boom. Then I changed an industry. So my question for you is, will you prove somebody wrong too? Will you prove somebody wrong? Okay, I hope you do. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to play full out. When you're around a community, somebody said something that was really nice today. I won't share the name of the person because not appropriate, but let's just say this person became a decamillionaire in my world. He's scaling something that's going to be worth hundreds of millions now in half the time. And he said on our call, on our legacy session this morning, because we do a legacy level, these are for people that are really playing at a higher level. And we do 2 hours with them every single week live. He said, you know what? There's not one problem can't be solved in this Foo Dog group, not one problem. And that's because surrounded by a community that has answers and they're moving and shaking. I mean, if you woke up today and you were around everybody's charging, no complaining, just like, let's do it, how would your life be? I bet it'd be a lot more exciting, right? So the recession proof tip is reach beyond what you first thought was possible. Reach beyond what you first thought was possible, right? That's what's going to keep you alive. Someone said to me, they said, I'm going to be retiring. I said, man, it's like so sad. It's like, I feel like we should play like, you know, the bagpipes at a funeral when they say they're retiring. I'm like, how long have you hated your life? You know, that you just want to stop. They're like, no, I want to fish. And I'm like, okay. I know a lot of people fished and then they died because they stopped doing stuff, right? All right, let's do it. Last strategy, number 8. Type in number 8 in the chat bar. Tell me we're going to finish strong here, please. Tell me we're going to finish strong. All right, let's finish strong. All right, and then just so you guys know, I didn't want to short this. Those of you coming to change the channel, we got to give you some stuff to be ready. Type in CTC if you're going to hang on, because I got to tell you how to be ready for change the channel. Otherwise, you're going to show up. You're not going to be able to keep up with me. I got to get you to go. All right, we'll do this one quick. Change the channel, right? There's different types of mindsets that can either restrict or unleash your mind power. And what do you need to take a leap forward, right? What thought habits are you going to implement this year? You got to change the thought. And what we want to do is change the channel. The tip is be relentless in living out your success vision, right? See, this trail up this mountain is scary only if you don't have a guide. Only if you don't have a guide. You die if there's no guide. But if you have a guide, they take you up the mountain, back down. And when you come down, you got all the rewards.